Well, this is a continuation of a series of interviews that we're doing, the third, with the mayoral candidates for Macon-Bibb County. I think this is an exciting time, because, I mean, many people say, some disagree, that, we're at a crossroad where we could really move this community forward, and that it's going to take good leadership and good cooperation, etc., for that to happen. So, my mission as it relates to that is to interview, all of the mayoral candidates, not all of the candidates, to get a feel of what they think, will help to move this community forward, what they are going to do, and that if why any particular candidate feels that he is the one, to move the community forward, and how, not only moving the community forward, but bringing the community together. And I think everybody agrees that a rising tide raises the whole ship. So I'm more than a little honored today to have with me the Honorable Robert Reichert. Matter of fact, I call you Rickett this morning, and my wife said, it is Rickett, isn't it? I call you Reichert this morning. Anyway, I know it. But, so I didn't heed her, so evidently I didn't heed her because she corrected me.
That's right.
Said that's not right. But what I did, I told myself, it's Rick.
Rick. That's
Yeah,
right.
But then after I said the wrong thing, but I'm so honored to have our mayor, Robert Reichert, the Honorable Mayor of Macon, Georgia, who's going to sit down. A long time ago, he might not be old enough to remember, and I ain't that much older. When I think what Franklin Roosevelt said, he used to have fireside chats.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Now,
I don't remember those.
But anyway, I read about it somewhere. Right. This is a call to action.
A call to action.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
And I'm your host, Alex Habersham. And there again, as I said, I'm honored to have Mayor Reichert with me today to have this discussion, which is the third one.
Good.
That I've had.
Good.
Like I said, so first thing I want you to do is just take a few minutes, if you would, 2 or 3, and just talk a little bit about yourself.
Alex, I'm delighted to be here, and thank you very much. And I appreciate you putting this series of interviews together for the benefit of the people that will be making the decision and casting their vote in this very important election on September the 17th. A word or two about me. Certainly you ought to start off with saying I was born here in Macon and have basically spent all my life here in Macon. I did leave to go to college at the University of Georgia, and I also went to Vietnam and learned how to fly helicopters and flew helicopters for the Army in Vietnam back in 1971. But Macon was home for me, and that's why I wanted to come back. Came back and worked for several years before I went to law school, and finished law school in 1981. Practiced law in the firm of Anderson, Walker, and Reichert from 1981 really up until the time I was elected as mayor. I had to take a leave of absence because I consider the mayor's position of the city of Macon to be a full-time job, and if I were to try to practice law on the side, I wouldn't do justice to either one. So I took a leave of absence from my firm, went to work full-time as the mayor of Macon in 2007. I was actually inaugurated in 2007. I love being mayor of Macon, but it is the hardest job I've ever had. It is very difficult and very challenging. I tell people every day, Alex, that I underestimated the variety of matters that would come across my desk, the complexity of those matters, and the sheer volume of them. I mean, it's just something pouring down all the time. If it isn't health insurance, it's something at the airport, or something about automobiles, or the budget, or this or that or the other. It's constant. But through these last 6 years, I was elected in 2007 and re-elected as mayor of Macon in 2011. I'm very proud of the record that we've been able to establish. We have turned the community around and taken it from a negative $4 million fund balance when I took over to a positive $9 million fund balance. So about a $13 million swing in the fund balance over these last 6 years. And I can also say that we were able to do this during the worst economic time since the Great Depression, because January, after I was inaugurated in December of 2007, the bottom fell out of the national economy. Now, I didn't cause that, but it was proximately related. And during these bad times, we've been able to turn the financial ship around. We're moving Macon in the right direction. And what we need to do now is keep working the plan, and I hope the people will re-elect me or elect me as mayor of the countywide consolidated government on September the 17th, so we can continue to work together and build a stronger Macon-Bibb County, because I think that's what all of us want.
In an effort to impart more information to the voters who are going to make a decision, I want to delve into 3 or 4 specific areas, not only to address them generally, but if there are some specific actions that you feel that you would take in those directions, you can share them with the community. The first one, and this is just me, probably everybody else that you interviewed probably emphasized and took a different approach. But what's dear to my heart is education. Education is very, very dear to my heart, and I think that some kind of improvement, and the plight and the position of education in our community, particularly our public schools. So if you would, just talk about, what you think, if elected, I know you want me to say when,
That's right.
if elected, you would do, if anything, to try to improve the educational scenario in our community.
Thank you. No more important issue, Alex, than public education. And everybody needs to understand that we need a good, strong public education system. Our kids deserve no less. And if we are to be competitive with other communities throughout the Southeast and across the nation, we need a strong public school system. So even though the mayor does not sit on the Board of Education and has no direct involvement with the Board of Education, doesn't have any say-so in how they budget the money and this, that, or the other, there's a lot that the mayor's office can do on collateral issues to try to support, to try to advocate for public education, and to get the community's support to buy in and embrace the school system. Specifically, what we can do. We can address neighborhood issues. We can address safe neighborhood issues so that children don't have to worry about their own safety in their school or at bus stops. We've had a rash of shooting incidents that happen at or near bus stops early in the morning. Certainly the police department can get involved in that and can help police neighborhoods to make them safe so that kids can get to and from school safely. Secondly, we can work very closely with the Board of Education to police areas around schools to enforce these drug-free zones and gun-free zones that are around schools. We can use our police power to make sure that the school environment is safe. We can participate, thirdly, by working with collateral programs for young people. The DARE program, which is Drug Abuse Resistance Education, that's run by the police department. Will be under the sheriff's department, I'm assuming, but we can continue to work there. The Police Athletic League, where they go out, shop with a cop to try to reinforce a friendly relationship between young people and police, so that the police officer isn't the enemy, but instead is a trusted friend that they can go to. We can continue to work on those kinds of issues as well. I think there's also fertile ground for us to explore recreation centers in schools, so that during the day it can be a gymnasium for the school, and after that we can have rec centers and recreation programs in there to keep kids off the streets an end to a supervised environment, work with mentor programs and things like that, to have after-school programs in these gymnasium rec centers, kind of thing, and so we can coordinate it. So there's several different ways, but chief among them, as I said initially, the mayor needs to be an advocate for the public school system and convince the community as a whole that we need to get behind our public school system. We need to support it. The kids deserve no less than a quality education system.
Thank you very much. The second thing that we want to just chat about
Yes, sir.
is, leadership is composed of people, and how well people work together in any entity plays a major role in the kind of accomplishments that are made. I mean, irrespective of the issue or irrespective of the project, irrespective of the scenario, irrespective of the challenge, if in fact people are involved, which in most instances they are, then somehow, they have to come to a consensus. You can't get anything done with people pulling in different directions.
Right.
As evidenced, very frankly, by some of the problems that we're having in our community, particularly from an economic perspective. Macon, I heard, and I don't disagree, is the best community in the Southeast geographically. So you can't find a better location. Matter of fact, sometimes people ask me, what's wrong with people from Atlanta? I said, what's wrong with y'all down there in Macon?
That's right.
You got the water, you got the location, you got the highway system.
That's right.
You got the land, what have you. So what, would be your intention to address these issues by getting, and I understand that, everybody got their emphasis, but somehow, it has to be brought together. What would you do to accomplish that?
Alex, I think the people of Macon-Bibb County are hungry for leadership. They respond favorably when you have good leadership. And I am proud of the leadership that we've been able to provide in the city of Macon. I think we have come together on several big issues and big items and pulled them together. And it is true that if you've got good leadership in place and you put the right people in place on the team to work together, then you can get a lot accomplished. It doesn't do any good at all to have 4 horses and to hook them to your wagon. If you hook one to each wheel and pull in the opposite direction, all you do then is just pull the wheels off the wagon. If you get them in harness and in front of the wagon and pull the wagon, you can accomplish anything you want to accomplish and go wherever you want to go. So I agree with you 100%. I think the people are ready for leadership countywide. I think they're tired of the bickering. This group says this, that group says that. We don't know which way to go and which way to turn. Now we will come together under common leadership. You'll have one countywide mayor and a 9-member commission. You'll have one voice, and it's very important that everybody, regardless of where they live in the county, whether it's in the north side, west side, east side, south side, or center city, that their voice is heard, their opinion is considered, and they've had meaningful input into decisions made by the government. But then that leadership in the government, this new mayor and the 9-member commission, and remember now, the mayor will preside at meetings of the commission, which is different from what we've had in the past. The mayor can provide the leadership, galvanize the 9-member commission into consensus, and pull the people, just like a 4-horse team of horses, pull the wagon, pull the people, and move us in a positive direction.
That's very good. Before we talk about economic development, which we'll talk about, there are certain issues that you have addressed. Like you said, there are always something on the table. Talk specifically about the kind of initiatives that you have addressed that have produced some good results, that gives you something that you can say produce measurable results, and also talk about some of the challenges you know, that you've had, that will continue over until the next
Right.
government.
Well, as part of what we've been telling people is that we have developed a plan, and our plan is working. We're moving in the right direction, and they say, what kind of plan? Well, it's a strategic plan that we put together with the help of the Carl Vinson Institute a couple of years ago. And we refined it. City Council played a part in it, helped pick and prioritize kind of. But basically speaking, the plan is that we want Macon-Bibb County to be the best it can be, the B-E-S-T, best that it can be. The B stands for building our environment, whether that is the political environment or whether that's the physical environment, the roads, the bridges that we need, but the physical infrastructure and the governmental infrastructure, we need to build that first, and that we're in the process of doing that. That's the B. The E is to educate all of our citizens. Now, I didn't say children. I said educate all of our citizens. The jobs of tomorrow are technically challenging, and they are going to require people to go back to school, back to the Central Georgia Technical College to get additional skills so they can get these high-quality, high-paying jobs that we're trying to bring in. So educate all of our citizens. The S stands for safety and services in every neighborhood. No neighborhood ought to be unsafe, and a mother ought not to feel uncertain about letting her children go out in the front yard to play. She ought to have every confidence that the neighborhood is safe and to have services throughout the neighborhood, and that would include internet, wireless access to internet, because if your school-aged children go to school and leave school and come home to a house that doesn't have access to the internet, that's like yesterday's child leaving without a textbook to come home and do homework. So we need safety and services in every neighborhood, and the T stands for transit and technology throughout the region. So if we do these four things, if we build the infrastructure, educate all of our citizens, have safety and services in every neighborhood, and transit and technology throughout the region, and work as a region, we can be the hub city of the Middle Georgia region. That brings in jobs and industry and tax base and additional population. That provides opportunities that we don't have now, whether they're educational, cultural, economic opportunities, social opportunities, healthcare opportunities, higher education, whatever. Bring them in so that we have all of these opportunities in this hub city. That creates a better quality of life for everybody. That's my plan, and the plan is working, and we are moving in the right direction. We just need to get behind it and keep making forward progress.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham, interviewing Mayor Reichert, you know, who is the current mayor of our city. Let's talk a little bit, if you would, or address, you know, a couple of things.
Yes.
First of all, you know, this is a pretty major change for this community from a governmental perspective. You have a whole lot more people, you know, in elected positions, and, you know, you had dual service providers, and it's going to be a change. You got two administrators of the government, and talk a little bit about how this can be meshed, if you please, with the new consolidation ordinance, and not only meshed, but, you know, to the extent that it's going to work, you know, because it's new. And I know anytime that there's something new that you're going to have bumps, but, you know, just talk about what needs to happen in order to make it, the transition, if you please, as smooth as possible. And then talk a little bit about finance, you know, once you will have addressed that.
You're going from currently 21 elected officials. You got a 15-member city council and a mayor. That's 16. Then you got 4 county commissioners. That's 20, and a chairman of the county commission. That's 21. You're going from 21 elected representatives down to 10. A 9-member commission and 1 countywide mayor. That is going to have a smaller group that I think can reach consensus, and like I say, we'll speak with one voice then. There's also a lot of opportunity then for accountability one side can't say, that wasn't us, that must have been them. Go talk to them, you know, I'm so sorry you having that problem. We didn't do it, they must have. And they'd go over and talk to them and said, no, that wasn't us, that was them. Go back and talk to them. And people don't know, they get, well, now you'll have accountability. You're going to have one mayor, you're going to have a 9-member commission, and that's over the entire government. That'll lead not only to additional accountability, it'll lead to additional efficiency. Right now, a favorite example of mine is that you have 2 trash trucks going through the same neighborhood every week. One is a city trash truck that picks up trash from people that live on the right-hand side of the street because they happen to be inside the city limits. The other trash truck is a private trash truck that goes through and picks up garbage from people that live on the left-hand side of the street because they live in the unincorporated part of the county. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that's not the most efficient way to pick up garbage. If you had one truck picking up trash on both sides of the street or the entire neighborhood, so there are efficiencies to be realized. And obviously, over a period of time, we're going to eliminate the duplication. Like I say, you don't need 2 HR managers. You don't need 2 finance managers. You don't need 2 attorneys. You don't need all these duplication. 2 chief administrative officers. Instead, through attrition, you become increasingly efficient over the next several years. And let me be honest and candid to say, too, this is not going to be somebody wave a magic wand and everything happens on January the 1st, 2014. January 1st, 2014, and the new government comes in and the process will continue for several years. We'll get more efficient as we go. We'll get better as we go. There are going to be some initial upfront costs. Who's going to change the decals on the police cars so that we have only one, color car and one set of decals? Going to be some upfront costs to do that. But working together, we can build a more accountable government, a more effective government. Now, you said mention money. Let me mention money. This is a big operation. When you combine the budget of the city of Macon and the general fund budget of Bibb County, it's going to be almost $300 million, which is a lot of money. You do not want to have somebody coming into office that's going to try to learn how to do it on the job. This needs somebody with experience. This needs somebody with understanding. This needs somebody that can move us forward. So it is going to be a lot of money. It is going to be a lot of moving parts. But that's the challenge that we face. And we need to do this. I'll close with this part. We need to do this to be more competitive with other communities throughout the Southeast as far as attracting jobs, business, because they are looking for a stable political environment and a stable tax environment. They don't want to come in and invest tens or if not hundreds of millions of dollars and then have the political environment go to chaos. Then there they are caught in the middle of that, or to have tax rates be so unstable that they can't predict them. So this will provide both the accountability that we need as well as a stable government setting and a strong, stable tax setting so that we can attract businesses and industry and tax base into the community.
I've heard a lot of talk about regionalism.
Yes, sir.
And, some people say, I've heard some people say, well, we need to worry about Macon and not, be so concerned about regionalism. What's your position on that and how important do you feel it is and why?
We need to be, all of us need to be proponents and advocates of regionalism. There are several things that just don't follow political boundary lines. Clean air and clean water could care less where the city limit line is. Watersheds cross county lines and city limit lines, and we need to work regionally on that. We also have regional employment. Robbins Air Force Base employs 26,000 people, and they don't all live in Habersham County. Many of them live in Bibb County and other surrounding Middle Georgia counties. Some come 40, 50 miles every day to come to work at Robbins Air Force Base. That is a regional employment, so we need to regionalize workforce development. We need to regionalize transportation, higher education, and the Board of Regents is already doing that when they merged together Middle Georgia College and Macon State College into Middle Georgia State College, and we hope soon to be the University of Central Georgia. Whoa, now we're talking about having regional impact in more than one way. So I'm a big proponent, Alex, of regionalism, and I think we all need to work on that. I think Macon needs to be the hub city of the Middle Georgia region, but we need to work with all of our surrounding counties in a cooperative fashion so that we address these other issues: clean air, clean water, higher education, health care, transportation, and those kind of things in a comprehensive and coordinated way.
Talk very briefly about.
That means we're running out of time, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Oh.
About downtown and housing. Those are two issues that I'm sure that the voters are interested in.
I am so excited about the downtown revitalization and the special purpose local option sales tax project of the 2nd Street connector, which will connect 2nd Street as it comes from the east side of the river, over the Carl Vinson Bridge, through the middle of downtown, past the medical center on 1st Street, past the law enforcement center, and then curve over and tie on to the end of Little Richard Penniman to take it out Mercy University to I-75. You connect that with a complete street that is a green, sustainable, pedestrian-friendly, bicycle-friendly, not a high-speed thoroughfare for trucks and cars, but a complete street. You link those centers of economic activity into a synergistic fashion so that the total impact is greater than the sum of the individual parts. I'm very excited about downtown. And part of the thing that's going to promote is the rehabilitation of neighborhoods and houses close into downtown area. Some of the most blighted areas are close into downtown. And one of the places that we're so proud of is to look at Bells Hill and look at the revitalization in Bells Hill. Once they tore down the old Oglethorpe homes and put back in its place a mixed income development called Tatnall Place, the area behind it, beautiful little homes were restored, revitalized, some historic homes, and Bells Hill is a shining example of how you can reclaim in-town neighborhoods and develop them. So that's close into downtown so that we develop this walkable urban lifestyle where you can live, work, and play all within walking distance. And I'm real excited about both housing and the 2nd Street downtown corridor.
You got 30 seconds for a closing statement to the public.
I'm Robert Reichert. I've been mayor of Macon for the last 6 years. I have the combination of education and experience and personal skills to be the best choice for mayor of the consolidated government. I'm an attorney. I am a skilled advocate. I can advocate for you if you'll make me your mayor of the consolidated government. And I look forward to having your vote and support and pulling this community together and lifting us all up to the next level.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. I want to thank Mayor Reichert,
Thank you, sir.
For this interview. And in closing, I want to tell you, you can call the Board of Elections or call my office or call anywhere to get the dates. And no, I don't have time to give all the dates, but my number is 478-464-0074. Dates for early voting. You can vote early. You can also, you need to know that the election is on September the 17th. The runoff is on October the 15th. Early voting begins, I think, on the 26th.
Oh, that's right. On Monday, August 26th.
Monday, August the 26th, and ends like the
Friday the 13th of September.
Friday, September the 13th. So that's very important.
That's right.
This is a call to action.
A call to action.
I'm your host, Alex Habersham. Have a great day.
www.maconblackpages.com